All right, it's the Ruben Jay Show. I'm super excited to be chatting with this sister duo right here. They are the alternative of all sorts of music. I honestly, I'm going to start there. It's Julia and Jill from the Pretty Wild, and I'm just going to start right from the top. What is the alternative? Because I understand, being alternative rock. I understand being country. The alternative just it's catchy, but I don't know if people truly understand it yet. So please enlighten me.
Yes, the alternative we're definitely one of the pioneers of. There's a few of us out there, the Yelp community, but it's definitely a cross between country. Like a lot, we grew up with like a lot of country music, but we also grew up with a lot of like emo, pop punk, alternative bands, as did a lot of Gen Z and millennials. So I think we're kind of marrying where the music industry is leaving off between the genre shift right now, where it's kind of like everything's mushing together, and that's kind of where the alternative is born.
Well, let me tell you what I've learned from listening to your music. And just by the way, I am not like a y'all person. I'm not country, but when I talk to people who do some country, I do end up saying y'all a lot. So if I start saying, please, the people who know me, don't judge me too much. I've been listening to your music like nonstop for the last week now, and what I'm picking up is and correct me if I'm wrong, every song that you guys do takes on kind of a different vibe. Like a lot of times the bands have very similar vibes from song to song. They'll change maybe a little sonically, they'll change a little bit, but like it's rock, it's rock, and they'll throw some ballads in. If it's country, it's country. For you guys, between Betting on Us, Xanax and Champagne, and the new one On the Rocks, each song has its own identity and can play in a completely different genre and a completely different market. Tell me a little bit more about that in your guys' writing style.
Yeah, I think like what's really cool about kind of the place we're at now is On the Rocks kind of set the tone of like where we're moving going forward. Like a lot of our stuff is more in that sonic space. And we do some screamo in some of the new songs, and I think Xanax and Champagne was kind of getting our feet wet a little bit with pushing the boundaries, and now that we know we can, with how the music industry is now, like we're like, all right, let's go, let's put the gas pedal down and just do what we've always wanted to do. So I think that's where you saw the kind of departure between the three songs, but we're really excited like going forward, because it definitely, it really does kick you in the ass with a lot of these newer songs for country especially.
Definitely.
I love it. And Julia, for you, what's your take on the songs that you guys are putting out now? Because I found, I don't know if I should say this out loud. I don't know if this is something that you guys want in public, but I found a cover of a song that you guys did. I'm not sure how long ago, but completely different sound. Completely, like it was like the traditional country cover of a pop song. How are you guys feeling about the music that's coming out?
I mean, so, I'm one of those people that, and people hate when I say this on our team, but I'm one of those people that our most recent song that we've written is always my favorite. And I have my eyes forward on the next project at all times. And so right now I'm really excited about, our most recent few songs that are leaning a bit heavier. And I think that's really our true kind of niche. And it's a sonic space that we have found for ourselves and carved out. We're like, okay, this is it finally. And it's the right pairing of the right producers and the right kind of instrumentation, and just really marrying the perfect lyrics with all those things combined. And Jill and I having that like aha moment, I guess, about it all. And so I'm most excited about the newest music out. That doesn't mean that we don't still love Xanax, or we don't still love Betting on Us. But I mean, that you can even see those two songs are even so drastically different. Between one is a more wholesome approach, one's more storytelling. So I guess I'm mostly in our new EP land right now.
Yeah, and that's like I'm the same way when it comes to like musicians that I'm invested in. Is my favorite album, my favorite song is their next song.
Yeah.
I feel like too many times band fans get so invested in one piece of work, and when an artist does come out and experiment a little bit with the sound or something, they're not as open-minded because it's not like that last song. It's not like my favorite song. So I'm very much in the same kind of mindset of like, the next song is my favorite song. The next project is my favorite project, because it keeps things interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to talk about Xanax and Champagne a little bit, because it's a really, and I actually just watched the music video. Which, by the way, y'all look fantastic in that one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
it's a really great song. I know it was written by some other people, and you guys recorded it and released it. Um, what drew you to Xanax and Champagne? Because it, like I said, it's a little bit more like a country classic, like storytelling that I love about country music, with that more modern country sound. So what drew you to that song?
Oh man. Well, first of all, we're big fans of Miranda Lambert, and I think we kind of when we heard that song, first of all, the it reminded us a lot of Mama's Broken Heart in a lot of ways. But it also we like how it was pushing the envelope concept wise for country music. You weren't hearing a lot of girls like what girls are talking about like drugs in country songs, but it's like a real thing people go through, you know? So we really wanted something that people it feels honest, but we can do it in a playful, cheeky way. So it starts a conversation, you know? And that's like, that song just did it so well that we're like, we have to cut it, you know?
The feeling was mutual. I think when we both heard it, we were in a pitch meeting. That's like these things where they play a bunch of songs at a publishing house. And we had heard a bunch of songs, and these meetings, like, they'll play for you quite a few. And Jill and I on this particular song were just like, yeah, that's it. And we both let the song run all the way through, which doesn't always happen. Usually you kind of like cut them off before you even get to like sometimes even a chorus. Um, but that particular one just really stood out, and we were big fans of the writers of that particular song, and so it kind of spoke to us. But I mean, I don't know if we'd ever be allowed to share it, but the demo of that is wild to see
Oh,
how it has transformed from the way that we did it. Um, and it's funny because like now I'm like, oh, I would have done it so much differently. We could have pushed it so much farther. But I mean, that's also just being an artist that is never done with a project, I
I
guess.
think also when you have different teams surrounding you, you know, like I feel like we really grew this year a lot in that we're like, nope, this is what
Yeah.
we're doing, and you're gonna like it or you're not. You know, you can either be in our camp or not. So
Yeah.
no more compromising with the Pretty Wild. We are what we are now.
Yeah, and so with that, I feel like you guys kind of like, I know you guys been working for a while and you guys have been doing this for a minute, but it seems like all of a sudden you guys took off on TikTok. And I would like to know the story behind that, because I've seen many people, and by the way, for the record, you guys are the first music act from TikTok that I've interviewed. And so
Oh,
this is,
really?
yeah, this is exciting for me, because back in my day, I used to be on the cusp of interviewing people off of YouTube. Like the minute they went viral on YouTube, I'd be able to get them and interview them. So this is
Yeah.
this is this is a really cool, like, rebirth for me, in a sense, with being able to interview you guys. But what happened? When did you guys explode on TikTok, and what happened? Tell me a little bit more about that. And then I do want to talk to you guys more about your TikTok, because y'all's TikTok is wild sometimes.
Oh, we know.
Well, it's so funny because like we got signed and we didn't really have a social media following. Like we
we
were
didn't we
really
didn't
just
have a TikTok.
old school artists. Like we didn't it was about the music for us, you know, and finding ourselves in that process. So TikTok was brand new for us this year. Like I want to say like really we started dialing it in. I mean, really we started dialing it in a few weeks ago, I would argue. But like we started getting a following around 6 months ago. And it really it kicked off when we started live streaming and people got to see our personalities and how weird we are. And then that kind of, you know, people were intrigued. They're like, you guys do flips and you sing and you're like artist. Like, what is this? You know, like we lived up to the name, The Pretty Wild. And then that kind of evolved into where it just keeps growing now, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting to me, because I think I actually commented on one of your videos. I'm like, do y'all actually sing, or is it just gymnastics? Like,
Yeah, the content switched. Now we're like, oh, we need to make it
Yeah.
clear we're singers. That's why you see in the last like literally 2 weeks all this music content because we're like, go.
It was getting confusing even for us.
so you guys need personal accounts each.
Right.
So are you guys both gymnastics as well?
Julia
You
does
know,
And
I,
dabble.
this,
I'll dabble. I'm not. Jill's more of the risk taker when certain kinds of things that I feel like I would probably second guess myself, and it's it becomes a fatality if you're not certain with some of those gymnastics moves that Jill's comfortable doing and I'm not. But we have our different kinds of ways, I guess, of having explosive energy.
okay, so Julia, what's your explosive energy release? Like, what do you do to get some of that adrenaline?
I mean, for me, the adrenaline junkie aspect really comes from like live shows for me. I love performing. I love being around people. So for me, and this is so funny because this is like definitely an Achilles heel of the age of social media. But I am so much more energized by like face to face, in person. You put me in a room with people, that's where I like feed off of that kind of like live energy. And so I'm learning how to open up behind a screen because it's such a different experience. And especially as musicians, we grew up playing music together and performing when we were like 5 6 years old. So um for me it's definitely more of the in-person interactions.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. I'd rather be on a stage making a fool of myself, which I've
Yeah.
done in the years, than don't make me do a flip. Don't make me jump off something. Just I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'll let Jill do it and it'll be fun. And I'll commentate it as it's happening if we need to, but I'm just not going to
you,
do it myself.
yeah,
I
but
think
what's funny about Jill is like she'll do the gymnastic stuff and then we'll be in a skate park. She'll be like, hey, how about you go into that bowl first? So I'm like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, if Jill doesn't want to do it first, this is not a good idea. And then I'll eat it down the thing. And I'm like, okay, well that's why that's why I don't listen to you sometimes. So
I think like
it's there's a time and a place. If I'm energized enough, I'll try anything once, I guess.
I think like the thing that's really kind of interesting about just in a way us being all over the place is that you can see the process of us coming into our own. And I think the reason these next I would say this next 6 months is going to be really interesting to watch is because we're now marrying the music side with all this crazy personality that we've come to figure out about ourselves. So I think it was this process of us discovering who we were. And now that process is more public than it was in the past. Before, you used to develop behind the curtain, right? And then they would put you out as a product. Well, now it's, why are you not a perfect product yet? Because you're seeing the evolution of something.
Yeah, the process of it.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel the pressure of that at all of having to figure yourselves out in the moment, but also have to somehow present yourselves as a complete package at the same time? And
I
I
think,
feel like
yeah.
real quick, I feel like it's different too for females, because I think, and I say this a lot because I have a lot of female friends, but I feel like with women in music and entertainment, you have to look the part, you have to have the talents, you have to have the right attitude, you have to, you have to show up on time, you have to do all these different things that if a guy does it, like if a guy shows up looking like a slob to an interview, that's whatever. That's Bradley Cooper. That's what he does,
Right.
but women do that and it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? What's going on? Why doesn't she get blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Yeah.
do you guys feel that pressure?
Yeah, we have a saying. I don't know how common it is, but you have to work twice as hard for half the opportunity. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of pressure. But at the end of the day, it's just like as long as you're putting out the best music possible, that's kind of we've pivoted our focus to kind of get rid of people in our close inner circle that if they don't see the vision, that's fine. And so we've kind of just we only have a team surrounding us that is 100% supportive in there and likes what we're doing, and that's we just decided to put ourselves first and really put creation first. And I think for us, like everything else has just come and fallen into place naturally.
Yeah, it's really cool, honestly. Like when you can intuitively find your way as you're discovering you, and then when you feel confident in that, that's when the music just clicks, and then that's when like the image will click. Like, and that's I feel honestly that's where we're at right now. Like it's really cool to grow it comfortable in your own skin, um, and it's I want to say it is a little trickier because we're loud females, and when you're a loud female growing up, that process is ugly. You know, so becoming confident in that, I would say, happened for me personally this year. Julia's always kind of been just stoic, but like for me, it's been this year, and it's really cool to see what's coming next because of that.
I think we love loud females. I think we love women who are confident and are willing to be themselves no matter the circumstance. And if they happen to be really, really good at what they do, it's even just a bonus, Like I'm very much like I have a friend who's in the music business and she's always so like, I have to look good and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, just show up. Just get in the room. Just get in the room. That's all that matters. We
Yeah.
can figure out the rest later, because I believe the talent should speak for itself. It doesn't matter if you show up, you
Yeah.
know, all put together with the perfect image, or if you are still a skeleton as far as the look goes, but you have the talent, you have the songs, you have the media. Speaking of the songs, On the Rocks, it's out now. It's a great song.
Thank you.
It's honestly probably my favorite of the 3 that are out now.
Oh yeah, then you're gonna like the new stuff.
Oh yeah, they're all in that vein.
I'm a rocker. I'm a rocker at
yeah.
home. So
Love
if
that.
you guys are leaning more towards the rock side, would still having and I love, like, don't get me wrong, I love country as well. I have a country radio show that I do a weekly countdown, but I'm a rocker at heart, and this song is just, to me, it's a good artistic visual, sonic visual, I guess, of a lot of people's relationships where
Oh, God,
yeah. Yeah. I was listening to this the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know like 5 people who have been in relationships like this. Like right off the top, I should send their song. So I'm gonna start out by I'm gonna ask. I have to ask the question as a journalist. I'm not really a journalist, but as a journalist, I need to ask this question. Who's this song about? I need a name.
Oh man, it's so good. It's not
An artist never reveals.
Yeah, an artist never reveals, I guess, and like we'd probably be, ran out of Nashville if we did, but
Los Angeles.
it's not about a lover, so I guess that's the only spoiler I'll give you.
Oh. Interesting.
I also love how it plays oddly, and I need to lean in this more. It plays into the Harley Quinn thing a lot with the Joker, and all the people are like, "Oh my God, you need to do the Joker, the Harley bit with this song. It's perfect."
You should do a alternative version of the music video of you as Harley Quinn.
Oh my
there we
God.
go.
Oh my.
That's the viral moment. That's the.
Oh my God, that's not a bad idea.
I'm part of the team now. I'm contributing creatively. Here we go.
I love it.
So it's not about a lover. I'm not going to push this because I feel like I'm going to get you guys in trouble if I ask the next question. So I'm not going to do that. But tell me a little bit more about these lyrics though, because it's such a creative way of talking about a relationship, being on the rocks and needing a chaser, and making this relationship, whether it be romantic, platonic, business, whatever, down to a drink on the rocks.
Yeah. It's funny because this song actually is a song that we had spent probably more time writing than most of our other songs, and I was like really really hung up on this title for quite some time. And I was selling this thing to Jill about like how often, I think I'd call you, Jill, or like I'd be with you and I would badger her about it like probably daily.
She literally was like, we had a co-write that same week with Cassidy Pope, and she was like, "This is the song for Cassidy."
I was like, I think she'll get this one. This is badass. Yeah. And then finally, like, that we were in Florida, down at the audio compound working with Andrew Wade, who ended up producing and writing the song with us. And I was just like, man, I think we need to just like fork it. I think this is the time and place for it. And then we were supposed to write it the next day, contingent on Cassidy liking it and everything. But it ended up coming out so easily that day, and we were just so excited about it. And it just felt so right for like where we were at this point in our like relationship with these people, and it just it felt so perfect. It still feels so perfect. That's like why I can't stop smiling about it. But
I think you can see the passion in some of the TikTok videos too. Like there was one clip, I think the first one I did with the song, I was like destroying the shit out of my room. And like people are like, I do not want to be on her bad side. The comments in it.
Yeah.
And that was really like such a departure from Betting on Us. It was like this sweet Disney Channel
It was
song.
like wholesome, like, yeah.
Well, you know what? Get you a girl who can do both.
Right.
Like you need a little psycho with the princess.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you're too boring. You got to shake it up somehow.
Exactly. So you guys are in the process of recording more music. I'm liking the release schedule that you guys have going on so far. It seems like we're gonna be getting some music every so often.
We got another one dropping soon. Julie, what's the date?
The date's in May. I don't know if we.
12? 12.
I think it's the 12th. Yeah, it's super soon. So we're really excited about that. But that is going to be coming out. It's so much in that vein of On the Rocks that I think you're going to see a lot of parallels.
What's it called?
It's called Eastwood.
Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I know if I don't ask this question, your fan base is gonna be like, dude, come on. So can you tell us a little bit?
This one is so Julia starts it out like, she sings on the verses like, and people are always like, oh, it sounds like Halsey. So the verses have this like Halsey feel to it, and then it like just explodes when it hits the chorus. So but it's really about like, a girl and what she's been through in life and how she copes with it. So it's a good one. I really like it.
So much, like so many Western sounds and like feels in that one, and like I mean, this is another one where I like really insisted upon this title. Like it was kind of named after Clint Eastwood, and all those like those spaghetti Western movies that like our dad would have us like watch growing up. For I don't know what reason, but we would watch a ton of them. But this one it just felt right too, and it's just such a neat cohesive like chunk of this EP that is going to come out that I'm excited for you guys to hear. And it's been teased too, so you can kind of like piece together some bits probably.
I like have the image in my mind burning of like when we were in the basement in Indiana and he would like make the popcorn in the bags, and he'd be like in front of the crappy TV like eating and making us watch the spaghetti westerns, and we're like like that smell, like all of that's in my mind.
And it's so much gore too. It was like Tarantino. It was like Tarantino like light, It's like now you watch like a Tarantino movie, like wow, that was gory. And like some of those movies, probably as a child, I felt like a lot of those spaghetti westerns were pretty intense.
That's crazy. When do you guys anticipate the EP being out?
Summertime for sure. We're still working on some paperwork, so we'll find out.
Ooh.
Yeah,
summertime's right around the corner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's super soon. It's just more of like the nuances of getting it all timed right and all that good stuff.
Well, I want to volunteer my time when the EP does come out. If you guys are gonna do like an EP release or something, I would love to MC it for you guys somehow if possible, because it'd be fun to do that.
It would be
with y'all. We'll get the best of both worlds, the virtual and the in person, and do something fun. So I have a question based off of the song title for each of you. So Julia, we'll start with you. So On the Rocks, obviously talking, indirectly talking about a drink with the chaser. So what's your drink of choice and what's your chaser of choice?
Oh, okay. Here's the thing for me and drinking. A, I love it. B, it's ever.
Here's the thing about me and drinking. A, I love it.
We're flipping that one.
Yeah, it's ever changing. Like, so it depends. Like, if it's like a hot summer day, I might go for a glass of white wine. But like when you ask me that question, I feel like the only fair way to answer it is like, what would I drink right now if given the opportunity? It'd probably be a whiskey sour, which isn't normally like a go-to for me. I would be more of just like an On the Rocks kind of. Oh God, that sounded so lame. Now that I'm saying that, I didn't mean for that to sound like that. but no, I do enjoy like Bullet on the Rocks, but like that sounds intense for like 4 o'clock in the central time zone. So I'd say like a whiskey sour right now. But I also love my wine, And then my favorite chaser would be either, people probably think this is nasty, but I like picklebacks or grapefruit.
God. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys come out to LA and we can figure out the time for us to hang out, I will do a pickleback shot with you.
Yeah. I love that. Jill, you have to.
I've never tried it. I've never done it before, but for you, I'll try it.
She does it for the electrolytes.
Do they? I don't even see, but I hate pickles. That's the funny thing about it. But I love picklebacks.
I
don't know why.
Yeah, I eat pickles for fun. It's my favorite food, actually.
So Jill, for you, I have to preface this question by asking, are you even legally allowed to drink? Because I'm not sure.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, because I don't want people to be like, "Yo, bro, Ruben's like trying to get people in trouble here," like. So, same question for you. What's your drink of choice and what's your favorite chaser?
Okay, well, this is a very controversial answer because I'm not legally allowed to drink. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Hold on, I gotta call my lawyer real quick.
Actually, my favorite drink was the first drink I ever had.
Which
Fireball.
was? Oh, that was my fault. Yeah.
And it feels no, it wasn't even you. It feels fitting.
I feel so betrayed.
Wow.
It feels fitting because I feel like that's my personality. Like I love Fireball.
Oh, we also have Screwball though.
Oh, the peanut butter Jameson. Should we tell them the story about what happened at the Rooney show?
No, we're gonna have to
Yes.
save that.
Yes, you should.
Okay, so we like to also. You asked us what energized us earlier. Sometimes we like to play shows like pretty warm. And we were playing. We were opening for a band called Rooney, who's like out. I think they're based on the West Coast, but we were playing down in this town of like Ocean Beach, California, at this really cool like dive bar. And we definitely got like way too toasty off this like peanut butter infused whiskey.
Well, like,
and now it's called Screwball, but it was the same guy that had started it. But it was just like the early version.
You have to preface it like we were like distraught because this was the time where I was in production Jill Lane where I wanted to produce tracks to do live. And so I was like, I had like whale noises that were supposed to cue us to sing or play guitar or whatever. And we couldn't hear the cues. Like the whale was like, woo. And then I was like, oh my God, there's an echo. Like, I don't know what happened. And so our whole show was shit. Like it was the worst show we've ever had. And I was like crying in a ball in the corner. I was like, that was so embarrassing. And then Jenna's like, there's a solution. There's a solution to this. And she goes to the bar. She's like, we need the peanut butter Jameson shots. And we just lost it.
Yeah. It
turned into the best night of my life, maybe.
Now it's like one of our favorite shows that we ever done. And it was like definitely an intimate, like, live music dive bar venue. So I don't know what kind of sonic, like, monitors Joe was expecting, but it was, it was a pretty straightforward show.
People, like I was in my really insecure phase now, but I was like, was it that bad? Like, was it that bad? And like, it's bad when guys are telling you it was okay. I'm like, oh shit. Like definitely it was not good.
They're never gonna tell you straight up, oh yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, they'll never tell you that.
Yeah.
They will never tell you that.
But it was one of our favorite, probably worst show, but our favorite show.
Yeah, it turned into our favorite show.
Sometimes the shows that turn out to be a shitstorm are the ones that are the best. I've had the most fun producing and emceeing stuff that like it was completely off the rails the entire time, but somehow we managed to survive, and it's a story to tell if you can remember it in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one where like the spider flew on Julia's head and then she like backed up and collapsed into the guitars or something.
No, I tripped backwards over an amp. It was way different.
Is there video of this?
Probably, and I'm sure it's not going to come out for like 5 more years, and then somebody's going to opportunistically wait, and then they're going to release it.
There was this giant sandwich. I have a photo of this for sure, and it fell on me. Remember, it was really windy outside. It was a giant meat sandwich, and it collapsed, and then I was like crying.
We were playing like a show for like Hormel Meats or something, I think.
Oh my god.
Maybe it was Boar's Head. I don't remember. It was great though. We loved it.
Actually, it was.
Oh my gosh. I used to work for Smithfield. That's funny. Not legally allowed to talk about it. Let's not
There we go. We're touching all the not legal topics.
I got smacked by a meat Smithfield sandwich.
I'm super excited for you guys. I really am. Your music is just great. You guys' personality is great. I want to talk to you guys about your TikTok because like I mentioned, it's all over the place. It's a little wild. No pun intended. What made you guys? And maybe this might be a question for Jill. I think because I think she's the one who's in charge of it all. Because that was the other thing too. Is like there was a minute there where I wasn't sure if the Pretty Wild was just Jill and Julia would occasionally come and play or something because it was all just Jill for a minute.
Yeah.
But what was the strategy, if any, behind the chaoticness? Not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Please don't think I'm judging you guys because I was there for it. I liked almost all the videos. I watched 99% of them.
Well, you see, Ruben, it's an insight into our minds, our psyche. So you get to see this play out live. No, I think, the main thing is, and as you're, one of the things is we're really dialing in is a lot more of the content is music centric focus now, and we're bringing together all these pieces of what we are, and I think it's going to be exciting to see how that all plays out, because now there is a strategy behind it, but before it was more of we were getting comfortable with the internet, putting yourself out there is a process, and then finding yourself within that is a whole other like there's one thing to find yourself as a musician, it's another to find yourself as a content creator, right? And I think you start to see, like, you're starting to see that emerge, and so we're excited because there's more of a strategy now than there was for sure.
I will say this, I love seeing that your guys' videos blow up regardless of whether or not you guys are doing trends or not. Like,
thank you.
Because you guys aren't doing, to my knowledge, you guys aren't using trending sounds. You're not doing the trendy dances, which I will tell you, I'm speaking as a member of your audience. Thank you for not. There's enough people doing the same old dance over and over again. There was one day where I swear to God, I was swiping through TikTok and 10 creators in a row did the exact same trend, and I'm just this is boring.
It's the same. It's too much of the same. I think that's the one thing. We're wild cards. You don't know what we're gonna do, but whatever we overcomplicate things. So if we're gonna do a trend, we're like, God dang, we have to like blast a rocket ship to space with a chimp on it and sing on top of that. Like it's too hard for us to do trends, actually. We'd rather just do something else. Well, that's like a great talking point. So, like, a lot of times we'll have people try to advise us of what we should be doing for content. And, people always love to give ideas, but I'm like, that's not the problem. It's the execution of the ideas. So it'll be like, get two like capuchin monkeys and like carry them on your backs while you're doing jumping jack, do flip, and then sing. And you're like, okay.
The best part is like half that's not made up. Half of that was actual like solicited advice that we got in an email. I'm not even kidding.
Like the capuchin monkey strategy.
I need you to leak that email to me. I have to read that email. And then
that was the day I checked out of social media.
So then the next question is, are they going to write the check for this? Because y'all's money can go to something better.
We'd like to think so as well. Maybe a new guitar or something, but no. I mean, apparently it's the latest cool pet to have on the internet. And we still do love like we put the rattlesnakes on our page or whatever. Like we still like to have like cool little fun moments of like Jill has 2 dogs that are unruly, so
naturally.
Between desert life or actual pets, we try to include some wholesome components, but it's definitely not like TikTok dances.
But I will say, overall, recapping, I feel like we're really coming into our own as content creators now. So I'm excited for this new era for us because it's going to be interesting to watch, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'll be here for it. I'm going to be the one telling you a thumbs up or thumbs down on what you guys are doing.
Yes.
And you ignore me. Like, obviously, just ignore me. Just keep doing whatever you're doing, because that's really what it comes down to. I don't think people should be telling you whether or not what you're doing is working or not, unless they're in your inner circle and people you trust. I'm just some random guy in the podcast,
I mean, but still, we do like it though, because sometimes we'll get feedback, and then if it's like sometimes it's really terrible feedback, or it's just like roasting, like in our DMs for like a solid amount of time, and then we'll just post it publicly because it's just that good. We have to share it.
We get some weird DMs, buddy.
Yeah, how about the one that I sent you? Hey, y'all want to be on my podcast?
Flag. I almost said one of the comments. Oh my God, I recently found out that when you swipe unread, it doesn't, like, I thought it meant they wouldn't show you that you saw it. No, buddy, they see it. They see it. It doesn't mean that they don't say seen. I was like, oh no, that was my.
That was your only escape.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to inform you, but yeah, once you open the message, it informs people that you open the message. There's no way to undo that one. We have a couple fan questions for you guys. This person, I don't know the name of this person, but they want to know if you can tell us the name of the song that you're working on with Jenna Davis.
Oh,
that was like that. It was a while ago. I'm checking, by the way. I'm not just sitting down.
I was like,
Checking to see if you're allowed to, or
we have
No.
literally written probably
we write so much
songs.
that sometimes it takes me a second to like remember, and then once I pull up the title of it, then I'm like, oh yeah, that was it.
I know.
But I'm not sure actually. We did like a little feature on a different track of hers too. So there's two of them in question that are floating around.
Yeah.
Well, which one can you tell us the name of? I guess that's the question.
Julia, which one is it?
You guys are gonna kill me, but this is like, and normally this never happens, but we never actually inserted like the title of it on the note, because normally it will say the title of it, and it's like, this is like our normal thing. It would say insert hit title here, but you can see it's from January, so we actually never put the title down, but we did record it.
So pick a random word out of the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah, pick a random.
And you want me to title it right now?
Just it's a random word. Just pick a random word out of the lyrics.
Right off your tongue.
Right off your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the track. Pretty
There
Wild.
we go.
Jenna Davis.
There we go.
Right off your tongue.
There we go.
Executive producer Ruben Jay. I want my 5% or whatever.
There you go. Yeah. But that's so funny because it never happens that like normally I put that there as a joke, like a placeholder on every single song we write, and I guess I never put the title in. So I guess it officially just got named, because normally that's like the last thing we do is we all agree on like what the title is. So
I love it. Well, if that song ever does come out, I'm gonna feel like I'm a published artist, even though I did absolutely nothing.
There you go. Yeah.
Another person wants to know what is each of your birthdays? They want to do an edit for your birthdays.
Aw.
Ooh, mine. I'm a Scorpio, so mine's November 15th.
Yeah, and mine's December 17th, so I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, you and I are close in birthdays.
I love that. When's yours?
The 23rd.
20. Oh, that sounds
you're not
terrible.
a Sag then. You're a
I'm a Capricorn.
Cappy. He's
I'm a
Cappy.
I would never have known that.
I am Cappy.
He's a capybara.
A what?
It's like a horse.
It's a giant gerbil, actually.
A gerbil?
It's a jumbo gerbil.
I don't know what we're talking about here. What's your guys' favorite guitar?
Ooh.
Martin.
It depends for acoustic or electric.
Les Paul.
We do.
No, actually, SG.
Okay, here we go.
Are you sure, Jill?
Confirming answer.
This is another problem, is that the only thing that we really hoard would be guitars, and usually I bounce between saying Taylor. Actually, right now, probably for acoustics, it is Taylor, and then electric Gibson.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good choices. Taylor's. I just love the ring of a Taylor. Like, there's just something about that sound.
It is the best sound, I feel, acoustically.
Yeah. Martins are good too.
Yeah.
But for me, like, not that I'm a musician of any sort, but I do play a little guitar. But like, if I'm gonna sit down and like play something in front of people, I want it to be a Taylor. If I'm gonna just noodle around a guitar, it could be literally a Yamaha. I'll be fine with it probably. All right, so I will be roasted if I don't ask Jill this question. What are you drinking right now?
This is actually
White Claw.
Did you say rum?
This is actually coffee.
Just regular black coffee?
She's like trying to show it.
I'm trying to prove it.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media, even though everyone already knows where to find you. But just that's a good way to start wrapping this up here.
Yeah,
we are the Pretty Wild.
Yep.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Close. Close. This is the Ruben Jay Show.
You're watching the Ruben Jay Show.
I love it.
Or listening to. There we go.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that again, but with the Ruben Jay Show instead of the Disney Channel.
And you're watching the Ruben
Jay Show. You can't make the mouse head. You gotta make an R.
I did an R.
No, you do the mouse.
We started it off camera so we couldn't see it, and then it went in camera just because the way the camera angles are currently set. That's why you couldn't see it. But I'm defending her.